Good morning, everyone. Today is January 24th, and I am currently in the process of reading chapter 24. I'm not sure why, but today's journey seems to be extra rocky for me. I understand today's passage, and I'm not having a hard time because it's long or anything, and I can give you a summary right in this spot if I wanted to, but I want to figure out like every passage, what it means to me and what God is trying to tell me today, and I seem to not understand that part today. So yeah, I think today's the first day that I'm having a hard time. Yeah, so I'm just gonna take more time on my own doing this, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Hello, I am back better than ever. Excuse the no eyebrow Jenny again. I promise if I do this I have eyebrows. Like, look, I have eyebrows. Okay, anyways, yeah, I figured out what I want to share with you guys, and I figured out what today's passage means to me, and yeah, I'm excited. So today's chapter was about finding Isaac a wife. Okay, today's all over the place, but we're all good. The bee's very still. I think it's just chilling next to me. I'll show you at the end of the video if I can, if it doesn't fly away. But going back to the story, Abraham orders his servant to go find a woman for Isaac to marry, and he gives directions to him in verse 3. So it goes, "You will not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I dwell, but will go to my country and my kindred and take a wife for my son Isaac." Giving you a little insight into my dream and what I want to do in the future, I actually, not kidding a bit, want to become a mother. I want to become a great Christian mom and raise my children in faith. I also want to meet a husband great in faith himself too, so that we can raise each other up and encourage each other when one goes astray, and also encourage and build up our children as Christians too. Anyways, Abraham didn't allow Isaac to marry a woman of the Canaanites, because that place that they were from, or they were living in, it was a blend of a bunch of different people from a bunch of different places, and that meant a bunch of different religions. When a couple gets married and they live together from now on, they become more and more like each other. And I have a perfect example at our house. My dad used to be a coffee hater. He never drank coffee. He always drank like green tea, for example. So Asian. Anyways, my mom, however, was a big coffee lover. So my mom, being that huge coffee lover, decided to spread her love of coffee and share it with my dad. And now we have a whole like coffee machine at home, and they drink coffee together every single day. That just goes to show how if you get married, a husband and a wife can grow each and every day like each other, become more like each other, and share a bunch of similarities that they didn't have before. So if Isaac were to marry someone from where he was, that means he would be taking in their religion also, and probably he would not be a Christian. Abraham wanted to choose a woman of faith for Isaac so that he too would not fall apart and believe in God. So Abraham sends his servant out his way, and the servant doesn't walk around or start his journey with the mindset of who's the hottest girl or how am I gonna find the prettiest girl for Isaac. But the servant rather starts off with prayer, and I want to read you guys verses 12 through 14, which basically share what he said. "And he said, O Lord, God of my master Abraham, please grant me success today and show steadfast love to my master Abraham. Behold, I am standing by the spring of water, and the daughters of the men of the city are coming out to draw water. Let the young woman to whom I shall say, Please let down your jar, that I may drink, and who shall say, Drink, and I will water your camels, let her be the one whom you have appointed for your servant Isaac. By this I shall know that you have shown steadfast love to my master." The servant's prayer also encouraged me to start praying. And you might be wondering, like, girl, you're a freshman. Aren't you a little too early to be praying for your husband? But better early than late, you know? And to not go in a prayer asking, oh, can I please have this rich guy who's really handsome and has a lot of money, but going in a prayer that please help me. Okay, so not praying for the richest guy out there, not praying for the most handsome guy that I can see, but praying that God will place the most perfect guy in his eyes in my path and in my life. This prayer that the servant prays actually comes true right away, and it might seem like a coincidence, but we all know that it is God's plan. So he meets this girl named Rebecca, and she provides him and his camels with water. And so the servant asks if it is okay if they have any room for him and his camels to stay over one night. In Rebecca's house, the servant explains to her family that he is on a mission to find Abraham's son Isaac a wife. If this were to happen to me, if I met a guy off the street walking a bunch of his dogs and he asks if he can have some water, and I give him that water, and then he says, hey, is it okay if I stay over at your house? And I say, sure, we got an extra room. And then he suddenly talks to my family about me getting married to like his cousin, I'd be like, hello? But Rebecca's response is quite different in verse 58. 58 goes, and they called Rebecca and said to her, will you go with this man? She said, I will go. Now, Rebecca didn't just go because she was like, woo, I'm getting married, y'all. But she went because she knew that it was God's plans. What I took away from today's chapter is to pray each and every day, starting now, for a perfect spouse in God's eyes, and not just to pray that he'll place it in my life, but pray for wisdom that when this does take place, when he does place a man in my life, that I'd be able to say, I will go and I will follow your path. I know today's video was truly a mess, with me having a hard time in the beginning, along with dogs fighting and a bee chasing me and everything like that, but I thank you so much for joining today's journey, and I hope that the message that I took away reached out to you well. You can watch yesterday's video up there, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow with Genesis chapter 25. Bye.